Morning. I've just been going through Facebook, and sometimes it's kind of distressing. I think it's distressing because everybody puts their best out there mostly, and that makes us feel less. And I'm going to stand in front of you now and say something that's going to be clear to anybody that knows me. I'm not perfect, but I spent, even wasted, a huge chunk of my life trying to be perfect. I set myself such high goals and standards that I was destined to fail. I was never going to be tall. I was never going to look like Grace Kelly. I was never going to be the type to have the perfect boyfriend, the perfect world, and be the perfect student, or any of these things. I was always less than the goal that I set for myself. For years, I thought it was society making me do that, and I'm sure that did play a role to a certain extent. And very radically, when I was 26, I picked up and I moved. I moved to the UK. It was massive, but while there I could reinvent who I was, who this Liz was. I didn't have to stick with the mold of who I grew up in and how I was raised. I could experience me as I thought I wanted me to be. In the end, it turned out I really wasn't all that different, but it gave me the opportunity to do so. And this search for perfection is ruining us, and I think the emphasis that we have on pictures of our lives and putting them forward, and I'm as guilty as anybody. I'd love to use the filters that erase the wrinkles, get rid of my neck. I hate my neck. Like any woman of my age, I'm 53. I'm going big around the middle despite my best efforts. I'm not perfect, and now I'm actually glad about it. I certainly wasn't a perfect mother. I did so many things that were wrong, yet the children have survived. Some of them are still surviving. Not that any of them are dead, but some of them are beyond childhood. So, and I certainly haven't been a perfect wife. I have been grumpy, grouchy, overtired, demanding, so many different things. I can't even think of them all right now. But one thing I have done through all of that is I've loved my husband and my children and my family and my friends, and they've gotten me through the really dark hours, and there have been many. Some of you know how many. So if you're looking at people's Facebook, Instagram, etc., I'm suddenly going blank, Snapchat and everything else, just realize that there isn't anything in a human being that is perfection. You can find perfection, I think, only in nature. When I look at a beautiful rose or a peony or a tree, I see perfection. When I look at people now, I see people, and I'm not seeking the perfect looks, the hay fever free individual. I'm looking for not quite warts and all. I don't need to see everybody's warts, but I understand that no matter what visage people put forward, there's a real human behind it, full of faults and insecurities. Even on the outside, when you look at the most perfect person, they are filled with feeling that they're not. And the more I know about people, the more I know how universal this is. So if I can leave you with one message, be kinder to yourself. I heard somebody recently write, be your own best friend to yourself. Be the mother that you may or may not have had to yourself. Be kind to yourself, and know that standing here at 53, and I am somebody who is embracing my wrinkles and my crinkly neck and my widening middle, although I'm fighting that one. It's good. Life is good. Even if your skin isn't perfect, your hair is not the color you want, or the texture that you want, or you're not the size that you want. Ultimately, none of these things matter. What matters is that you find some way to hold on to a bit of self-love. My mother gave me that nugget very early on, and it's one I'd like to pass on. If you can find some way to love some bit of yourself, then that love can grow. And I want to provoke you and say, why not try loving the imperfections? Because ultimately those are what make you unique and who you are. And particularly to young women who are struggling with this, and I know many who are, just be you, be true to yourself, and don't be afraid to reach out for your dreams. I mean, I'm an example of that. I wanted to be a writer all my life. I told everybody that's what I was going to do, and my first book wasn't published until I was 49. So I'm proof that with determination, with everything, you can reach your dreams, just maybe not when you expected to. I wanted to reach the dream when I was 23, 24, earn millions, be on the New York Times bestseller list. Instead, I've had a wonderful life, raised a family, and I'm not on the New York Times bestseller list, but I am published. So I like the imperfection in my life. I like the journey that I've taken, and just enjoy the journey and forget trying to be a perfect flower. That's all I wanted to say. Cheers, bye.